So here we go again. T.B.Photo X1.5 TFX, and welcome back to another video. Well, here it is, what I hinted at in a previous installment, my new little toy for video making. Well, this one is filmed by the D7200, but this is the little chap that's gonna take over most of the filming of my episodes here on this channel. And I have on my phone here actually the spec sheet for this camera. And yeah, for you guys who are in the know, yeah, here's the thing, the gist of it. I was looking for a camera that could film my episodes in order for me to be able to use the D7200 and have something more as a dedicated video camera. And after a little bit of shopping around and finding this baby by pure chance actually at Tradera, a site that I have talked about many times before, I thought I would do a little bit of an overview of this camera that I have managed to get my hands on. What is it then? Well, it is, for all intents and purposes, it is the SONY HDR CX900, and this is the E version. So yeah, it's a little bit of a fun camera it's kind of a, what a lot of people, when I've listened to a lot of reviews about this one on YouTube, there aren't that many, but when you find them, this seems to be quite the little special specimen when it comes to the camcorder market, because camcorders are still a thing and there is still a market for them apparently. But this one was a bit special because it was kind of a prosumer camera for a prosumer camera for an affordable price. I mean, the price when this was new, and I have the recommended price here for Sony, and this is in Swedish kroner. So you basically have to multiply it by 10 in order to get it in American dollars, roughly, and about the same in euros, I suspect. But 14,600 Swedish kroner is what the recommended price for this new is. And yeah, I went on Tradera. There is no way I'm paying that money for this camcorder. I tell you that much right off the bat, actually. So I actually went on Tradera and found this camera with the box, with all the things, with all the bits and pieces, including also, you know, the little remote control unit and so on. I got it all on Tradera for 3,000 Swedish kroner, which is about roughly $300 for this camera, which is still a bit hefty, I admit that. But yeah, I know that Sony has the bigger brother of this that does 4K, but that's a even more ridiculous sum of money for a handycam, in my opinion. So I thought that why bother? I really like this one as is. So yeah, anyway, let's continue on. What is the special thing about this camera then? Well, for starters, the image sensor on this is unusually large for a handycam. I mean, the normal ones are like micro four thirds or smaller when you get a handycam, the sensor size that is, but this one for some reason has a 1-inch sensor in it. A 1-inch sensor on 20 megapixels, and it is let's see here. Yeah, it also has for all you guys who like Hasselblad and so on, the lens that is permanently mounted on this one is a Carl Zeiss Vario-Sonnar T-Star, so it's a proper T-Star coated lens on this, and it is like a 29mm at its widest angle, and it has a 12-time optical zoom, and there is also, I think, some you know, other features in it, but I can't really put them out on the top of my head. But anyway, as I stated, it's a backlit Exmor-R CMOS sensor that is 1 inch. So yeah, that's really big size sensor for this type of camera, actually, as of what my research has been able to, you know, get to it. But also BINZ X image processor by BIONZ X image processor unit. Apparently, what I've been told is that this camera has the same guts basically as its much more expensive 4K brother. So even though this is not able to do 4K, it has some really good electronics inside it, so that's really good in my opinion. Let's see more here. What do we have? Well, this one can record in 2 formats, a little bit depending on the quality of SD memory card that you have put in it. So this can both be recording in MP4 plus AVC HD with double video recording, or it can use Sony's proprietary or in-house developed XAVCS format, which is both full HD media browsers. So let's see, or rather, you know, formats. Let's see what more you have here. Oh yes, this both has NFC and Wi-Fi built into the camera. Let's see, what more do we have? Okay, there is also a 24x zoom in this, which I am probably not going to use because it is a digital, which basically just means that you're cropping the image and losing resolution as a byproduct. Also, it has a let's see here, what else is a... Yeah, so it is a good camera for its for the price. I got it for a song basically, compared to what it costs new, and it has a lot of analog features as well. So it does have a touch screen, and now it just goes on. We're gonna do it like so. So it has a touch screen on it and a couple of modes and so on. I use it in complete. I try to use it as much in manual as possible. It also has a 5.1 stereo microphone, so you have 4-directional and a bass frequency response, in what I've been told, on the top here of the camera. On the top you also have a hot shoe, it looks like, but it's Sony's proprietary hot shoe for accessories. So you can't really put anything you want in this. It has to be Sony's own products. But there do exist, you know, XLR inputs and so on for this, but there's also a microphone input here under this little cover. And what is nice with these covers is that they're not like rubberized things. These are, you know, really, they snap in place. So you have a small output here, HDMI mini micro, whatever it's called. Focus magnifier, excuse me, a button so you can actually zoom in digitally, of course, and be able to get a better sense of getting your image in focus. As stated, it is also 20 megapixels, and what else? Yeah. You have the zoom rocker up here, you have a dedicated photo button, you have a image or video button, you have the standard record, you have a, if you want to use mains power on this camera, you can do that, but you need a proprietary charger for this. It has actually also a built-in 3-step MD neutral density filter that can either be manual or automatic. I have it in manual mode, which is how I prefer it. And you have a lot of different callbacks here for, here is operator mute, so it basically, by software, I presume, it makes it so that if the cameraman is talking during filming, his or her voice is not picked up as broadly. You have a power button, so if you want to power down the camera completely, you can use that one. What else? You have a white balance button. I keep it in automatic for these sessions, and also a little bit of a feature that kind of went out of fashion, but they decided to put back in this camera. It's the night shot mode, which actually removes the physical infrared filter in front of the sensor, so you actually get a true night shot on this one, and program EA button. But the three buttons that are most important are these one up here. It's iris, gain, and shutter speed, which means that if you want to make the real cinema effect yourself, you put the camera in 25p mode, which means 25 frames a second, and you can put the shutter speed by yourself to 1/50th of a second, so then you basically have the 180 rule in video work. And also when it comes to gain or ISO, it says both here. The thing is, in video language, you don't really speak about ISO that much. You speak more in decibels. So you use the same kind of unit that you use to measure sound amplification and so on. So you use decibel, dB, in order to measure how much extra oomph you put into the image processing or the sensitivity. It works good, but you try to use it as little as possible in order to get at as clear image as possible. And iris is the same as f-stops on a normal camera. The good thing with one of these is that you can put each of these, you put it on manual, and you choose which one, and you use this little scroll wheel down here in order to make it so you change the setting. Then you have another bigger scroll wheel up here actually that you can put first either as a zoom, so you zoom with this scroll wheel, or as I have it, focus. Since I have the rocker zoom back here, I can always use this one as a fine focus control. But you have to put it on with this button to manual or automatic. So that's a little bit of the features on this camera, and it's quite interesting, and I think I might have just scratched the surface of what I can do with it. But yeah, that's a little bit of an overview of the SONY, and I need to look up the name HDR CX900E camcorder, which is what's going to take over from the D7200 to film my videos, or at least that's the plan. But as always, this is Tobias Bergström from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, so take care from now on. Bye.